VMFS stores all the files that make up the virtual machine into a single directory. VMFS provides encapsulation of the entire virtual machine so that it can easily become part of a business continuity or a disaster recovery solution. A VMFS data store employs a file structure similar to a Linux or UNIX operating system.
Now, let us move on to the 5 main files of a virtual machine. Let us go deeper into the 5 main files of a VMFS. Let's begin with the configuration file. Identified by a VMX file extension, it contains all the configuration information and hardware settings of the virtual machine. Next, the swap file. Identified by a VSWP file extension, it is a file that is always created for the virtual machine, but only used if a host exhausts all of its allocated memory. And next, the BIOS file. Identified by a NVRM file extension, it is used by the virtual machine, which is similar to a physical server that has a BIOS chip. You can set hardware configuration options, and the changes are stored in this file. Followed by the log file. They are identified by the log file extension. It creates log information about the virtual machine and is typically used when troubleshooting issues with the virtual machine. Lastly, all virtual disks are made up of 2 files. A large data file equal to the size of the virtual disk and a small text descriptor file. Identified by VMDK file extension, it contains details of the files and geometry of the virtual disk. It also contains a reference pointer to the data file. The 3 types of data files are the flat VMDK, which is the default virtual disk file created for virtual machines. Next is the delta VMDK, which is created when a snapshot of a virtual machine is created. Lastly, the VMDK.vdm file, which is created when the virtual machine uses a raw device instead of a flat VMDK.